What if the countdown to the King's return was hiding in a worship book? Right under our noses. Not in Revelation, not in Daniel, but in the Psalms you've sung since childhood. Today we're opening 7 Psalms that point beyond Bethlehem and Golgotha, to a day when the sky splits, the judge appears, and the earth itself starts clapping. Stay with me, because each psalm builds a picture you won't forget. Quick roadmap. The Psalms are poetry, layered. Many lines had a near horizon in David's time, but a far horizon in the Messiah's rule. We'll keep a humble lens. We'll connect the Psalms to what the New Testament says about Jesus without forcing every detail. Watch for repeating themes: the King's visible rule, justice for the nations, judgment that sets things right, and creation rejoicing. When we say second coming, we mean the day the enthroned Christ is revealed openly. He judges evil, establishes righteous rule, gathers worship from every tribe, and renews the world. With that in mind, open your heart and imagination as we step into 7 Psalms that sing of his return. First prophecy. Psalm 2, the reigning sun. Picture a strategy room filled with world leaders. Maps on the table, voices heated. Let us break their bonds, throw off their cords. The nations are restless, allergic to God's rule. Psalm 2 opens with this noise, but then the camera cuts to heaven, and the tone changes. We hear laughter, not cruel laughter, but sovereign, steady, unshaken. I have set my king on Zion, my holy hill. The center of Psalm 2 is a decree. You are my son, ask of me, and I will make the nations your inheritance. Then the line that echoes through the New Testament, you shall break them with a rod of iron. That phrase appears again when Jesus returns, riding in Revelation 19. He will rule them with a rod of iron. Same image, same king. This psalm ends with an invitation and a warning stitched together. Serve the Lord with fear. Kiss the Son. Blessed are all who take refuge in him. It's like the Father leans across the table of history and says, submit now, so joy can be yours then. The second coming in Psalm 2 isn't just about raw power. It's about rightful authority and a chance, right now, to move from resistance to refuge. Application. In an anxious world, allegiance beats anxiety. Choosing Jesus as king in private now prepares you to welcome him in public then. Ask yourself, where am I still negotiating with God? Psalm 2 says the negotiations end, the king reigns. Better to bow now and become blessed than to break later and be bitter. Second prophecy. Psalm 24, the King of Glory enters man. Now the scene shifts from war rooms to a city gate. You can hear feet on stone, a crowd gathering, ancient doors towering overhead. The psalmist turns to the gates themselves and speaks like they can hear. Lift up your heads, O gates. Be lifted up, O ancient doors, that the King of Glory may come in. It's a procession without equal, the kind that makes a city hold its breath. Who is this King of Glory? The chorus asks. The Lord, strong and mighty, the Lord of hosts. He is the King of Glory. Some hear this as the ark entering Jerusalem in David's time, but these words reach beyond a wooden chest. They envision a victor approaching the city, a warrior priest, a sovereign who wins and then walks in. In the light of the second coming, Psalm 24 feels like a preview of the king's arrival to a purified city. Think of Revelation's language, gates that never close, glory filling the streets. Psalm 24 teaches us to practice welcome now. The king who will one day be welcomed by a city must first be welcomed by a soul. Application. What are the gates in your life? Your schedule, your ambitions, your habits. Lift them up. Make space. Prepare a clean room for the king. Not perfection, but intention. When you open your doors to him now, you won't panic when you hear his footsteps then. Third prophecy. Psalm 45, the royal bridegroom king. The music changes again. We're at a royal wedding. Trumpets, silk, perfume in the air. But this is no ordinary groom. The psalmist says, your throne, O God, is forever and ever. The scepter of your kingdom is a scepter of uprightness. Did you catch that? He calls the king God and says his throne is eternal. The New Testament quotes these exact lines about Jesus in Hebrews 1:8-9 to say, this king is divine. Psalm 45 is strange and stunning because it pairs a throne with a wedding. The king loves righteousness and hates wickedness, and he's anointed with gladness beyond his companions. The bride enters with joy, clothed in woven gold, and the nations take notice. If you've read Revelation 19, your heart is ringing. The marriage supper of the Lamb, and the bride made ready. Psalm 45 hums that melody centuries earlier. Application. History doesn't just end with a courtroom, it culminates in a wedding. The second coming is the day the faithful bridegroom arrives for a prepared bride. That means your daily faithfulness, your quiet yes to holiness, your refusal to flirt with darkness, is bridal preparation. Beauty is built decision by decision. You're not just avoiding sin, you're choosing a dress. Fourth prophecy, Psalm 50. The judge comes in fire. Listen to the opening. The mighty one, God the Lord, speaks and summons the earth. Court is in session. The judge is not timid. Our God comes. He does not keep silent. Before him is a devouring fire. Around him a mighty tempest. This is not the soft glow of a candle. It's Sinai revisited, but universal. Heaven and earth called as witnesses. He gathers his faithful ones, those who made a covenant, and then exposes empty religion. I will not accept a bull from your house. Translation: I want your heart, not your token. He confronts the wicked for using his covenant like a costume. The psalm ends with two paths. Those who order their way rightly are shown the salvation of God. Those who ignore him meet rebuke. Read alongside Jesus's parables of separation, Matthew 25, and Paul's language about Jesus revealed in flaming fire, 2 Thessalonians 1. Psalm 50 sounds like a trailer for the final assize. The judge returns to set accounts straight, publicly. Application. The one who saves also summons. Grace doesn't cancel accountability, it creates it. If your worship avoids obedience, Psalm 50 says it's not worship yet. The second coming will expose what we truly loved. Let's move from religious performance to covenant passion now. Fifth prophecy, Psalm 72, the king's global reign. Stand on a high hill and look out. Seas shimmering, nations bustling, kings trading letters. Into this world the psalmist prays for the Son of David. May he have dominion from sea to sea. May all kings fall down before him, all nations serve him. This is expansive, compassionate rule. He delivers the needy when he calls. Precious is their blood in his sight. He is a king who notices the tear on the cheek of the forgotten. Psalm 72 reads like a charter for Messianic governance. Justice and mercy kiss. The poor are not props, they are prized. May his name endure forever. May people be blessed in him. All nations call him blessed. It feels like a sunrise rolling across the globe, lighting up every slum and palace exactly the same. At the second coming, Jesus doesn't just stop evil, he installs righteousness. We're not rescued into a vacuum, but into a kingdom. This psalm tells us what that kingdom feels like on the ground. Safe streets, honest scales, leaders who kneel before the weak, and worship that goes viral. Application. Kingdom culture starts early in kingdom people. When you advocate for the vulnerable, refuse corrupt shortcuts, and bless enemies, you are living Psalm 72 ahead of time. You're learning the customs of the country you're moving to. Sixth prophecy, Psalm 98, he comes to judge the earth. Zoom out farther, beyond courts and palaces to rivers, mountains, wind, and waves. Psalm 98 calls creation to sing. Let the sea roar, let the rivers clap their hands, let the hills sing for joy together before the Lord, for he comes to judge the earth. Judgment here isn't a grim word, it's the best news creation has heard. It means everything bent will be straightened, everything broken mended, everything poisoned purified. Paul says in Romans 8 that creation is groaning, waiting. Psalm 98 lets us hear the moment groaning becomes clapping. The world is not discarded, it's delivered. He will judge the world with righteousness and the peoples with equity. No bribes, no bias, no spin cycles. Pure justice with a smile. Application. If you've ever looked at your city and thought, it shouldn't be this way, Psalm 98 says you're right, and help is already on the way. Work now for clean water, fair systems, healed neighborhoods, and honest business, knowing you're harmonizing with a cosmic chorus that will crescendo when the king appears. Eighth prophecy, Psalm 110, the enthroned priest king. We end with the psalm the New Testament quotes most. Psalm 110. It opens like we've pressed our ear against heaven's door. Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool. You are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Two worlds meet, throne and altar. A king who reigns and a priest who intercedes. This is the already not yet psalm. Jesus is already exalted, he sits at God's right hand now. Yet the Father is still making his enemies a footstool. There's an until. That until is the stretch between ascension and appearing. When he returns, the hidden will be seen. Authority that is real now becomes visible then. Enemies that resist now are subdued then. Psalm 110 sketches the final movement. The king marches, shatters opposition, lifts up his head in victory. The New Testament draws this line straight to Jesus, Matthew 22, Acts 2, 1 Corinthians 15, Hebrews 7. This psalm is the blueprint for the priest-king who finishes what he started. Application: live under the scepter and near the altar. Submit to his authority and draw near to his mercy. The second coming belongs to people who already live like citizens, heart checked by a priest, mission sent by a king. Let's step back and look at the tapestry we've been weaving. Installation. Psalm 2, the king is set on Zion, the decree is public. Arrival. Psalm 24, the King of Glory is welcomed through the gates. Wedding. Psalm 45, the divine bridegroom takes his bride with joy. Judgment. Psalm 50 and Psalm 98, the judge appears, creation rejoices at justice. Worldwide rule. Psalm 72, the king governs from sea to sea with mercy and truth. Ongoing reign to victory. Psalm 110, the priest-king rules until every enemy is underfoot. Put together, the Psalms do more than soothe, they prophesy. They sing the story of the returning king who saves, judges, and renews. The end is not chaos, it's a coronation. You might ask, aren't these about David? Yes, many lines had a near horizon: David's reign, Israel's worship, Jerusalem's gates. But the New Testament repeatedly lifts these psalms into a larger frame. The greater Son of David, Jesus the Messiah. It doesn't cancel the near, it completes it. What about first coming versus second? Both show up. Some verses echo the incarnation, cross, and resurrection. Today we highlighted the lines the New Testament and the imagery of consummation illuminate. Judgment, universal rule, the marriage supper, creation rejoicing, and enemies finally subdued. If you feel the overlap, that's okay. The same king who came in humility will return in glory. So how do we live between the notes? After the decree, but before the procession; after the proposal, but before the wedding feast. Watchfulness, prayer. Make a daily appointment with God and keep it. Short, honest, expectant. Pray, King Jesus, train my eyes for your appearing. Witness, mercy and justice. Find one practical way to lift the lowly each week. Visit, fund, advocate, mentor. Practice Psalm 72 where you stand. Worship, hope, praise. Sing like Psalm 98. Let gratitude and hope be louder than complaint. Even 2 minutes a day retunes your heart. Holiness, loyalty. When compromise knocks, answer as a bride who knows the date is set. Holiness isn't fear-based, it's love-based. Hope is not passive, it's training. The second coming isn't escapism, it's energy for faithful presence right now. Which psalm spoke loudest to you about his return? Psalm 2's decree, Psalm 24's gates, Psalm 45's wedding, Psalm 50's courtroom, Psalm 72's justice, Psalm 98's singing earth, or Psalm 110's priest king? Drop your answer and why in the comments. I read them. If you love finding prophecy woven into worship, subscribe and hit the bell. We do deep dives like every week.